Hello class, it's Michael Sherman here, and today I will be teaching, well, I'll be reviewing actually, 19 by 19 game. This was a tournament game I played in the New York League. It was the fourth New York League tournament, and I was facing against Stuart MBK, and at the time he was playing as a 3Q, and so wasn't I. I entered the tournament as a 2Q, but they go by KGS ranking. So we'll go over the game, and essentially, I'll be teaching you principles or fundamentals of the game through our game. And so, this might help you translate, transition well onto the 19 by 19. And hopefully, it will, you'll get a feel of like how intermediate players play in this game. I'll focus mainly on just like 5 lessons or so, um, and then we'll move on. So I'm not gonna like go into deep variations on what went wrong and things like that. I'm gonna explain more of what went right. Um, and so to give you some clout, um, in AI Sensei, this is a website that helps you review your games. It looks for moves that essentially are bad, and if they're bad moves, yeah, I set it to 5 points. So if I play a move or he plays a move that how should I put it? That loses 5 points. Like if it's so bad, like the computer thinks you lost 5 points, then it marks as a mistake, and then it'll give you variations. This is for deep learning, like if you want to look through, long variations and figure out what's going on. But the only reason I'm showing you this part real quick is because we played all the way up to 53 moves before the computer felt we made a big mistake. So I'm going to review the first 53 moves of the game and look for, we must have been doing something right for the most part. So I just wanted to point that out to give this some justification. So anyway, let's review the game. So black played on the 4-4 point. Lesson one is in a game in on the 19 by 19, you essentially want to play in the corners first before and then later on focus on the sides. The reason the corners are important is because the corners are the easiest place to make a territorial framework compared to, let's say, if I wanted to make 9 points. This stone is almost scoping out these 9 points. Now they can be taken away, so that's why it's called just a framework. But essentially, if I wanted to make 9 points on the side or the middle, it would take that many more stones in order to make 9 points. But because this corner here, this nice corner edges here, it works almost like if these were white stones here. So it's easier to make 9 points on the side in the corner than it is on the side, where you'd have to make 3 sides, and then in the middle where you'd have to make 4 sides. So lesson one is to play in the corners first. So black played on the 4-4, so did I. If we go back, and then black played on the 3-4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's why it's called the 3-4. It's not on the start point, but either here or here. It could have been here as well. When you play stones, they have a direction, and that direction emanates on the board. Each stone has a certain power. So so this stone here, because white can play a stone easily and take away the corner, um, this stone emanates power here at B and C. So when you play a 4-4 stone, you should be focused more on B and C than the corner. This stone here on the bottom, the 3-4 stone, the way that it's facing is actually this way, believe it or not. Um, Black wants to essentially play an enclosure, which not only helps him get points in the corner, but it also creates a wall um, facing outwards this way. So let's say if black got another stone, and then another stone, you can see that black's making a very big framework, a box. So I want you to consider that every time somebody plays a stone, there is a direction that that stone wants to continue on. And we'll learn that over time. The second lesson then would be direction of play. So we'll move on. White plays in the corner once again on the 4-4 stone. So you can feel the directions that white wants to play in is at A, B, and C. Black also wants to play in C, and just like this stone here, black wants to make an enclosure first. So on the next move, he makes a large knight enclosure. And as you can see, this builds a nice wall. It's making a framework territory for the corner, so he's like asking for these points. And then the wall is facing out towards his other stone, so he's trying to make usually when I pass it takes away the triangles, but um, so his wall is making territory while projecting its influence on the right side. So that's the direction of play. Every time you play a move, it's kind of like a problem for direction of play. So if you're really good at understanding where the stones are emanating power, you'll learn how to play on the 19 by 19 board. So white felt this wall facing this way. So instead of allowing black to get a move here or here to like build a nice framework, I played in the tournament. I was playing as white over here. So now I have two directions that I can like make a nice base, and so I don't have to worry about black making a lot of points here. Black did play on this side, and you can see that this, by the way, this knight enclosure here in Japanese is called the shimari. Um, so the shimari wants to make points here. Black wish he had a stone here, but since he can't because white played here, black took as many points as he could. This is still a great number of points here if black, like, let's say, got another stone here or here, mainly here, because this is a lot of points. Um, So that's why black played on this side instead of this side. If black played on this side, white can make a base, and now his direction of play, his shimari or enclosure, is sad because it didn't do what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to make points this way. So that's why black plays on this side. White could make a base with a 2-space jump, but I felt like I'd be too cramped and black would be making too many points. Too many points on both sides. And generally, it's his right because I'm the invading stone, so he should have an advantage and be able to, if he plays well, to make points, on both sides. But instead of playing the 2-space base, I overextended to 3 spaces. Now, this invasion, this point here, could be invaded, but there are patterns in order to counterattack this white stone. I mean, this black stone. So if I was to put pressure on the corner, I think this is the Joseki. So as you can see, I can still have a chance to jump in the corner. And black is in trouble here. You can attack this almost directly, but not exactly. I would really have to scan the variations here, and this is not what I'm here to do. Right now, I'm just here to teach the fundamentals. But if you really, obviously, it's better to play the best moves. But if you were really wondering like a variation, you could just play this. Black attacks. Yeah, but if black attacks, white can make a wall here, and black settles. Um, so you can use this influence. to mess with black's area. But the reason, once again, is because I just didn't want to feel cramped. So I overextended, and instead of challenging me, which, like I said, there's a few Josekis that could play out here. He played the Knight's Move enclosure. He's playing a very slow, methodical game of like focusing on territory. Um, so I played here to ask for the corner. He tried to push me out of the corner, and then I went in again. He defended this way. A quick variation. I thought he was going to play this, and white settles easily, but then black has a nice wall facing out here. But instead, he played this way, and it allowed me to make a tiger's mouth. So a good shape point that you want to know about is the tiger's mouth. This shape point is very important. It bulks out my territory and makes it very easy to make eyes. It looks funny because it can be Atari, but because my stone is here, now it's like I have a 2 stone wall facing this stone, so I'm still pretty much settled and okay. This is how the tournament play happened. Let's move on. So now black has a lot of thickness here. This is a very strong group. A lesson you want to learn is to make bases. So when this will be lesson 3. So when your stone is between a black area and it's being attacked, you want to make a base. Your first instinct should be to make a base in some fashion. I see many players when they're beginning don't know this concept, so this is a very important concept, but it is to make a base. That will be lesson 3. As you can see, after all these moves, I have a nice base here. Like these stones are pretty well connected, and they have area to make eyes or to run into the center. So here's the next direction of play. Lesson. Black is very strong here. Um, actually, this will be a direction of play, but it'll also be talking about the loser line in endgame moves. So when you guys start to learn, you know how to capture stones. So you can see if white plays here, black is dead. White gets the capture, and that's the end of that. Vice versa, if white was to play somewhere else, and black plays here, now white is dead. Right? This is how the game capturing works in this game. So you have these 2 stones that could die depending on who moves first. The reason that I played over here is because this is the second line. See how it's at the edge of the board? 1, 2, and then it would be 1, 2. The second line is called the loser line. The loser line is essentially if you're playing on it, you might be losing. So if I was to play, let's say here, and let's just make a situation where black is playing like this. If white continues to play on the second line, the loser line, and black just lets white continue this way, black gets this strong wall facing the whole, board, whereas white is just slowly making 1 point at a time. So this is called the loser line because if you're playing on it, it's not as beneficial as playing somewhere else, if that makes any sense. In a dire situation, if white was dying here with these stones, I would play it immediately because you'd have to make that base. You'd have to go fall back on principle 3 and make a base because white's dying. But white has plenty of space to run and has plenty of space here to make eyes. So I'm not going to worry. I'm not in dire straits. So I'm going to focus on not playing on the loser line and play somewhere else. And here's the reason why. Here's another, just an example of how it works. So after black played here, if I was to take this stone, now black has the freedom. I mean, he could even play it out, but now black has the freedom to play anywhere. It's called Sente. So I'm going to make two principles here. Principle number 4. Don't play on the loser line unless you need to. And by the need to, I mean, like if you need to make a base without, or make an eye quickly so that your group can live. But if you don't need that eye right now, then don't play on the loser line. Another way to word this is don't play endgame. Endgame, we haven't gone over it yet, but essentially that means that at the end of the game is when you start playing those small moves. This move is too small to play right now. So that's principle number 4. And so let's go back to the variation I was talking about. If white played this way to settle, and black plays here, and white takes to make that eye, now black gets Sente. Sente is the Japanese word for initiative, I believe. Or essentially, it means that black gets the initiative and gets to play where he wants. And so black has this strong group here, so he wants to play far away from it in order to try and build territory here, or to go white into here, and then black can start attacking and harassing it. This is just an example. I'm not saying these are the best moves, but the idea is that you can make white heavy and then start fighting it. So another concept or principle, this would be number 5, is Sente versus gote. So I'll explain gote. It's pretty much the opposite of Sente. So white's move here, if white played here, this is a gote. Well, it's a Sente move, but then this move makes white gote. So white now is in trouble and is forced to play here. So now white has played gote, meaning he lost the initiative, and now black has gained gote. I mean Sente, which means to gain the initiative. So that's the idea. In Go, you want to always be fighting for Sente, especially if you're black. You want to keep Sente as long as you can, so that way you can keep the initiative going, because white has Komi at plus 7-5, which means that black has to work a little harder than white does. So these are the 5 principles I guess I'll focus on for now in this particular game. I could end the video here. We're probably at a long timestamp. But if you guys are interested, I'll keep playing a little more and just focus on these here. So to finish, white didn't play here because this is a bad move, and black didn't play here because this is a bad move. They'll end up with gote and then give the opposite player Sente. So I could teach another principle here. I guess I guess I'll keep teaching principles. Okay, so black is strong here. Black is very strong. Black isn't going to die. By strength, I mean that it's very hard for white to kill black. So I'm not worried about killing black. What I am worried about is with black's strength, he can play far away and make a big framework to make that big territory. And so as white, I feel the direction of play. I feel that this is the area that we should be playing at. So this is principle 2, direction of play. So I focus on the area where we should be playing. And so I make this long extension, 5 space extensions. 5 space extensions are good. So now you can see black is strong, but he feels cramped. Now, he feels like he's not making a lot of points. Like, this is not a big area. Whereas white is expanding very nicely. And the reason I didn't play closer is because black is strong. You don't want to play too close to black's strength because he can swallow, he can harass your group. So now, in this situation, I played it poorly because white can just connect easy. So let me play this way, I guess. And if white counterattacks, black can either make a base easy, or black can continue to jump out and weaken these stones. So the idea is that if you play too close to black's thickness, you will start a fight that you have a disadvantage at. So that's why I played a little further away, 3 spaces at the most. If black counterattacks, I'll continue to try and link up to my group, or I'll come back and counterattack the white stone, the black stone. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, and I guess I won't want to focus on these 5 principles, so we'll move on. But essentially, this is the direction or the area of play where these stones, the strength wants to play out over here. Let's see. This is just a Joseki. I'm not going to go too crazy on this one. The idea is black made a corner and then white took the outside, making a large wall. So this is a good principle for number 4. Don't play on the loser line unless need to. So black is alive here. He understands that he is alive. So now this isn't the focus of the game. We played until it was the focus of the game. As you can see, black plays on the loser line here, but this is because he has to in order to make a living group here. And then white played on the loser line, but this harasses these black stones. So this is a good place to play right now. And when white takes the initiative, or white takes the outside, unfortunately it's gote, so black gets to play now. And he plays over here. And the reason, if you guys see, like, this is a very easy capture. Black can take this stone very easily, right? You guys should know this. But it loses Sente. So black has to kill, and he loses Sente. So then white just has to defend his wall. But white now has a really, really nice thickness that can't really be questioned. Like, this is a very strong group here. Black can still take this now, but white can do all sorts of things. Maybe white will play this kind of like the Sun. The idea is that black didn't play here because he was following principle number 4. Don't play on the loser line unless you have to. He didn't have to play here. So he played a bigger and better move. He's trying to flatten white out, I feel like. Or he's trying to make territory over here, framework, and squash white's territory framework. I actually let him do it. Maybe he should have played like a 2-jump or something here to keep white flat while building territory this way. But instead, he got jealous of my big wall facing my white strong stones. So he played in here, and I think this was his mistake because now it gave me a target to attack. We could go real deep into that thinking, but for now I'm just focusing on the basics. We're getting close to move 53, but I know this review is going super long, so if you guys want to stop here, you can stop watching. I'll just do some extra credit here. We'll move on. So my strategy, instead of attacking this stone outright, was to attack this stone. So then, when he decides to run out, I can run out. And then I can run out, and he can run out, and then I can play a splitting attack. So now this puts pressure, this one stone puts pressure on both these groups. And where I have to only worry about one group here at A, he has to worry about group B and group C. So this is just a fighting tactic. Um, it's a very good one, but it's very how should I put it? Advanced. It's very advanced technique. So I continued to split his group, and now he has to like try and find a way to settle. But where if he plays on this side, now this side becomes weaker. So, and then if he plays on the A side, then B side becomes weaker. And you'll see that through the game. This is the moment here where AI Sensei picked up our first mistake. And so there was a lot of mistakes after this. It's pretty advanced stuff. So I'm not going to cover it in this basics. But in fact, I really should just end the review here now. But well, I'll just go a little bit through. We'll talk very briefly about it. Um, so I attacked, I separated. He made another mistake here, allowing me to cut. So now this white group and this white group are safe. Black here is dead, so I don't have to worry about it. And then this group and this group are still under attack. So he tries to. This was a mistake on my part. I should have just kept the separation. But I blocked the eye space here, and I shouldn't have at this moment in time. But anyway, I continued to cut. He played through to try and escape and attack these, and I was able to get out. And now you can see that this group is still under attack, and this group is still under attack. It only has one eye, and none other. And white has friends everywhere, so this is a good situation for white. I did make some mistakes. Like I probably should have played here. AI Sensei was telling me. And then I attacked this group. So I built strength this way to split group A and B. And now that A is kind of out in the center, I focused on group B because I have this nice strength splitting here. So now B is going to have a lot of trouble making eyes, and so I can attack. So I create a snapback. I pretty much defeated him here. So now you can see white has a lot of territory. Like, it's pretty tough now for black. It's a hard game for black, I think. Uh, Continue. He started harassing this group. But I was able to make life pretty easy. And I continued attacking this. I'm pretty sure black lives here. I kind of forget. It's been a few months since I played this game. But the fun thing is, by attacking A here, now I've created A and B groups that are separated, and A became weak. So now when I play here on the second line, I'm taking away black's life area, like ability to make eyes easily. So now this is the time to play on the loser line. And as you can see, this was 128 moves in before it was worth playing here. So I was able to separate. He had to play a bunch of moves to make life. And then I was able to put pressure on this group. I put a stake in his land. This was his territory, and I, kind of reduced it. And then I was able to even capture this group. So I ended up getting a lot of captures in this game. We can really end it now. I'll do a quick recap of all the beginning principles. Playing the corners first before the sides. Um, this is a good. This is something you'll need to learn to play on the 19 by 19. Direction of play is always, always, always important. You shouldn't be considering direction of play almost every move you make. As you can see, once he makes the Shamari, the direction of play becomes on the left side. So that's why I played over here to break up the big territory potential. This is playing on the loser line, but it's essential to make a base and attack his base. So this is why I played this way. Um, the computer doesn't say this is a mistake. I think he could have played out this variation, which would have been fine. It would have made things simpler, but he played this way, so I bulked out. The good shape technique is this tiger's mouth. You want to keep it in mind because as you can see, it hurts this stone here, and it's also one move away from making like almost two eyes. So it's good shape to remember, and always try and use. You're always trying to bend around your opponent and cut him off from the center. This is that don't play on the loser line unless you need to. So we both moved on from here. And this is also a direction of play moment. Essentially, the question is, where's the best move? That's what direction of play is, to always look for the best move. And this is the area that's the focus. And the reason is because black is settled and strong here, so he wants to stretch out. And so white wants to neutralize that by making points of his own while taking away from black. As you can see, white's making a framework of his own and taking away from black, cramping black. This is also a direction of play question, like which way you should block. And the idea, once again, that I was teaching is if I blocked this way, there's only so many points I can make on this side. And if I block this way, there's way more points to make on this side because I'm facing my own stone and there's just more lines here. That's a good way to keep your eye on the prize. And yeah, I mean, this is mainly it. This is where I wanted to teach. The Sente and gote thing was in at least two big areas here where somebody could have played a bad move and lost Sente. So both of us are pretty high intermediate players, so we know better than to do such things. So I'm trying to teach that to you. But anyway, I'll end it here. This is way longer than I thought it would be. I didn't. But I hope this helps. I hope these principles help you. They're very important when you're trying to play on the 19 by 19. And learning these and following these rules correctly will definitely strengthen you quite a bit. Like, if you master just these five principles, you'll probably level up very quickly. Like, because most people aren't thinking this way until they reach around like 15 to 10Q. So I'll end it here. Thank you for watching, class, and have a good day. Bye bye.